speak to you in the name of God, who is grace and love and communion. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. So it was Valentine's Day this past week, and of course the internet is filled with all kinds of marvelous memes and reflections on the day dedicated to love. And this is one that I really like from Peter Reynolds. I'll tell you where it came from in a minute. He's reflecting on St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians and the famous passage about love is patient, love is kind. Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. Love is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It's just that there's basically one way these dishes have to go in if you're going to fit them all in. And love just happens to know that. Because love is typically the one loading the dishwasher. Love isn't saying that you don't do other things around the house. It's just that, like, this is typically love's thing. And so therefore, maybe love has a pretty good idea of how to get all the dishes in. But hey, love does not keep a record of wrongs. Oh, come on, not wrongs. I didn't mean, look, love will maybe just set out a couple of those little ant traps from the Home Depot, just in case there are some dishes left out on the counter overnight. And, oh, of course we're out of ant traps. Perfect. FYI, love is not scooping the cat litter. I love this reflection. It's from McSweeney's if you want to find it. And it kind of perfectly sums up for me the challenge of what we're called to do. If I were to say to you, what is our duty as Christians to one another, you would probably say back to me, almost reflexively, not even thinking, to love one another. I say it all the time. It's written on the tympanum above our entrance, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Great. But how do we do that? Because the reality of love is that it's messy and sloppy and difficult. There is no more complicated thing than living with another person, or living with other people, or being together in community. Because the reality is, for all the ways in which each one of us is a celestial, beautiful being imbued with the image of God, every single one of us from birth, every single one of us from before our birth, filled with God's own light and love. We are, as my friend and priest and author Sarah Condon says about her and her husband, who is also a priest, two burning tire fires. How do we resolve it? How do we get along in the world and with the people that we care about the most when we are both this part of ourselves, the holy part, the part that is most like God, and the part that is back here, the lizard brain, the part that says fight or flight, the part that says kill or be killed, the part that says eat or get at. Because my friends, all of us, all the time, are both of these things. So what do we do? For me, our texts this morning from everybody's favorite book of the Bible, Deuteronomy, and from Matthew, have a lot to say about how we should do this. Deuteronomy, a lot of it is sort of an expanding of the idea of these two commandments. We see them hanging over our altar, in the reredos of our altar. The second commandment, thou shalt not make for thyself any graven image of the likeness of anything that is in heaven, etc., etc., etc. Don't make other gods. Don't make something else a god. Easy enough. In our Friday morning Bible study, we've been reading the book of Exodus. We've been reading the part just now about how the Israelites thought Moses was on sabbatical a little too long, and so they made for themselves a little golden calf out of their jewelry. That turned out badly. And I thought, I haven't made any golden calves this week, so I'm doing just fine. And I'm doing pretty well until I'm driving on Highway 6 and someone's turning left and I sit patiently behind them, and then 5 cars zip around me on the right, and I'm like, you fool! How dangerous is that? If you just listen to me, so much safer. And I'm doing pretty well, not making my own little golden calf, And then I open up my phone, I flip on Facebook, and I see that someone is wrong on the internet. Well, there went the next 2 hours of my life fixing that. I'm doing pretty well until my mom calls, and I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh man, Mom, if you would just listen to me, everything would work out great. And then I realized that I had made a little gold calf out of my own opinion, my own experience, my own desires. I've made myself the source of all the things that are good and right and worth doing, and everybody else is down here somewhere. In a way, I'm back here in that lizard brain. I'm the one doing the eating, because I want to eat that. But I confused it with my frontal brain. I'm making emotional decisions, not reasonable ones. Oops. It's always nice to have something to confess before a confession later on. And every week I kind of come up with the same list, because I'm still the same person. Our readings this morning have a lot to say about that. About creating all kinds of idols. The idol of my own superiority is probably my favorite idol, but I have a few others. I like to treat God sometimes like a big celestial ATM in the sky. That I think as my prayers go up, God's blessings are going to come down. That was a song I learned in Sunday school. The blessings will come down as the prayers go up. And what it taught me is that my relationship with God is transactional. I put the money in the celestial checking account, and I make the withdrawal. When I was a kid, I thought that those blessings would come down in the form of candy and being invited to birthday parties. As an adult, those blessings obviously were going to be like money and things and better shoes. Now I think those blessings are going to come down if I do it right, if I'm the kind of perfect person I'm supposed to be, that God's justice is going to flourish in the land. Because I did my part, God, so where are you? And there's Moses saying, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. We make an idol out of our own sense of what is right. And we want to make God into our own image. We want to turn God into another model of capitalism, into another model of consumerism. Give and take. And that's not how this works either. What I really like about our gospel reading today, overall, I'm going to get into particulars, but overall, what I think is really valuable about this reading is that what Jesus is saying, in his essence, in the heart, is that you cannot treat other people like garbage, literally like disposable something. How often have I been mad at someone and I killed them in my own heart and made them dead to my own will? Ripped them off, unfriended them. How much harder was it to sit down and say, wow, that really hurt. But we've loved each other before, so I want to find a way through the hurt. That's really uncomfortable. So instead, I make my own comfort the priority, and I write them off. I've probably done that dozens of times in my life. Every one of them, I feel like I'm being called to the carpet by this reading. How many times have I wanted to make my own opinion of myself, my own ego, more important than the divinity in another human being? Once again, Jesus calls me to the carpet and says, that's not where you go. When I do that, I am treating other people like a used tissue. And we are called to a higher kind of life. Not because we're trying to earn God's favor or preference. Not because I'm trying to get enough chips to get myself into heaven. I'm watching this TV show, maybe some of you have seen it, The Good Place. It's a lot of fun. And the whole idea is that you earn enough points in your earthly life, and if you score enough points, you actually get into the good place. But if you're not one of the higher point earners, the bad place for you. I think that's how a lot of us think about this. That our faith is like, I gotta earn enough points by being good. But we're not talking about points. We're not talking about winning. We're not talking about cashing in. We're talking about fullness of life. Fullness of life. So what does that have to do? Sometimes it's more comfortable. It's more comfortable sometimes to treat other people as disposable. It is more comfortable, I'll be honest, to treat my own opinion, my own experience as superior. To believe somehow in this helping profession that I'm in that I can fix things. If you would just listen to me, I can fix it. And that is garbage. I can't fix anything. I can barely fix dinner. Maybe if I apply myself my whole life and I make my ego small enough, I can listen to the wisdom of other people and maybe something inside of me can actually get fixed. But that takes some work. That takes some commitment. That takes some letting go of needing other people to be what I need them to be. That takes some letting go of needing the past to be different, of needing that friend to not have said that thing. If she hadn't said that, I would still be friends with her today. If she hadn't done that, we would still be close. But she did it, and we're dead. What happens when I say, man, I would have preferred that didn't happen? I would have really preferred that didn't happen that way. I really hurt. But I want to move forward. And I don't want to be back there in the past. How do we forgive others and ourselves so that we can move forward? I think this is one of the hardest things that we do as people of faith and community. It's what Paul's whole letter to the Corinthians, both letters, are about. How do we do this? How do we live together? Because it is inevitable that we're going to bump into each other. It's not like if it happens, it's always when it happens. Because my way of letting the dishwasher is in fact superior. What do we do? And what's tough about this is that these are the moments where our daily life happens. Most of our life is lived out in moments like this. Most of our life is lived out in the day-to-day, day-in, day-out stuff. Sometimes we are standing on the mountaintop and we've got the big moments. Sometimes this is the end of the life. Sometimes it's the beginning of the life. Sometimes it is the celebration of two lives coming together. Sometimes it is the big stuff, but most of the time, 99.4% of the time, it is just day in, day out stuff. And that is where this happens, is it not? If I see that sock on the floor one more time, I swear to God. So what do we do? What do we do about that? A couple of things. A couple of thoughts. Knowing, reminding myself, I can't fix it. My mantra. I cannot fix it. I can't change it. I can barely change myself. Here's some things I found helpful. One is that instead of treating God like the celestial ATM, like Big Santa in the sky, in my prayer time I try to open myself to where God is and who God is. It's hard because I want to fashion God into my own version. It's so much harder to just open myself and say, God, I am present to you. You are here, and I want to be here for you. Oh, I find that hard. And I find it good. And it is right and good for us to bring the concerns and the praise and the joy and the hurt, all of the things burning in our lives to God. That is right. And trust it to God. That's so different than directing God. God, fix this way. God, make it happen this way. And just to say, whew, God, that hurt. I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to just put that up there on the cross with you and leave it there. And open myself to where you are. And allow you you to do the changing, allow you to be the grace. That's very tough, especially for a bunch of room full of capable people to let go. So that's the first thing, is let God do the work. Let God be the change. The second, I think, is knowing that it's not okay for people to treat us like used Kleenex either, which people will do from time to time. People we like, people we love will treat us badly. And it's not okay for us to do it either. But it doesn't mean we have to kill them. It doesn't mean we have to end it. Sometimes hurts are so great that you can never go back to the way a relationship was before. That happens, and that's okay too. But even in what is the most famous example from this passage in divorce, it is possible for a relationship to end and for both people to come out with dignity and goodness. It is okay for things to end. It is okay to say, that hurt, I'm going to let this go. You have my forgiveness, which releases your own resentment. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Think about a resentment in your own life that you'd love to just let go of with 2 hands. How good would it feel to just let them be who they are, and you can be who you are? What we can't do is treat each other like we're disposable. We cannot say, I have no need of you, because we need each other. Now, more than ever, we are living in a world where resilience is required, and we cannot be resilient on our own. Every single one of us requires each one of us for the kind of resilience and strength that God intends for us. Our project is not perfection, thank God. Our project is living into Christ to experience the fullness of life that's possible. That's what we're up to. We're going to bump along and bump into each other along the way. And we have the tools to get back together. Or we have the tools to say, thank you. It's okay. What we can't do is hope to control other people. We can't hope to control situations no matter how I would like to. We can open ourselves up to God's grace and let God be God, so that we can do the work that God has called us to do in this beautiful world He's made. May it be true for you and for me. Amen.